Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen, the Get Some podcast. And my guest this week is...
This motherfucker Gary.
What's up, everybody? Hey, this is Gary Owen. Another episode of the Get Some podcast. As you can see, I'm repping my guy, Andre Johnson. 80 hat, just went in the Hall of Fame this weekend in Canton, Ohio. I'm going to get into that in a second after I go over my schedule. God, I do not have a hat head. So if you're watching this on YouTube, don't donate money. I'm fine. Every time I wear a hat, I feel like one of Jerry's kids are like, I got something. Because for whatever reason, God didn't give me a head that's good for hats. So anyways, this weekend, now look. My podcast airs on Thursday. I usually record the day before. Sometimes I'll go live. Sometimes I record on Tuesday night. Sometimes I record Wednesday. Sometimes I'll go Thursday morning. But I'm recording this the day before. So I got a show starting right now, as this is airing in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you're not there, I hate to break the news to you, Dave Chapelle's there. He's coming in unannounced. I've been holding on. Well, we've all been holding on to the secret for months, ever since 50 Cent called. He's got this huge weekend in Shreveport called Humor and Harmony. The comedy show is right now as this is airing. And, God, the lineup is disgusting. You know what? Let me just go over the lineup real quick. This is just the comedy lineup. So let me go to 50's page because he got the full lineup on there. It is okay. Comedians. Show's already sold out anyways, but comedians: London Brown, Ryan Davis, Bubba Dub, J.J. Williamson, Chico Bean, Rudy Rush, Tony Roberts. Then we're gonna have a break. Musical interlude. We're going to have Moneybag Yo, Master P, DaBaby, Mooney Long, Twins, Where Have You Been? And then we're going to come back after the music plays, and we're going to have Michael Blackson, Nate Jackson, myself, DC Youngfly, Earthquake, Matt Rife, the Young Gun, Bill Bellamy, Andrew Schultz, Lavelle Crawford, Cat Williams. So that's the order. Not only is that the lineup, now listen to this lineup. London Brown. And if you guys don't know London Brown, have you seen Ballers on HBO? He's in that. Funny ass dude. Ryan Davis. Bubba Dub. J.J. Williamson. Chico Bean. Rudy Rush. Tony Roberts. Then we're going to do the music. Mooney Long. Moneybag Yo. Master P. DaBaby. Then we're going to come back from that. Michael Blackson's going to go up. Then Nate Jackson's going to go up. Then I go up. Then DC Youngfly goes up. Then Earthquake. Then Matt Rife. Then Bill Bellamy. Then Andrew Schultz. Then Lavelle Crawford. Then Cat Williams. And at the bottom of the flyer, 50's got special guest. Well, that special guest is Dave Chapelle. And he's going to walk out. He's walking out right now. Nobody knows. And it's going to be a cold opening. Like, Chappelle's literally just going to walk on stage like U2 used to do in that concert about 20 years ago. They're just going to be like, oh, shit. Is that Dave Chapelle? Yes, it is. So we've been holding on to this secret, and I texted everybody. I said, hey, my podcast airs Thursday nights, the same time the show's about to start. Can I say it on my podcast? They go, yeah, at that point the show's sold out, and it's going to be out anyway. So I'm the first one breaking the news. So that's a sick lineup. And then that's just the comedy show is the August 8th. And August 10th, Saturday, the concert, 310 Baby, Cameron, Flow Rider, Jeremiah, J.I. the Prince, Skilla Baby. God, I sound white reading this. Soul for Real, Gordon Banks, Christopher Williams, Monifa, Lil Mo, Gina Thompson, Dave Hollister, Coffee Brown, Kenny Burke, Monica, Keith Sweat, Pleasure P, A Boogie, Dave East, CJ Frito Bang, Gigs. And there's so many other Bow Wows coming in. It's going to be disgusting. 50 Cent is officially taking over Shreveport, Louisiana, and I'm excited about just being invited to shows like this because as a comedian, we don't get to see a lot of these. We don't get to see a lot of our contemporaries unless it's award shows or we happen to be on the same show together. But to put all of us together like that, it's just going to be cool just to hang out backstage, cut up with everybody, catch up. So it's like a family reunion almost. We got all the nephews in the beginning of the show, and then we got all the uncles at the end, minus DC Young Fly. He's still young. Oh, and Matt Rife. Those two are the young cats on the second half of the show. But yeah, I'm excited, man. So Cat's Out the Bag. By the time you see this, too late. Show's already sold out. Chapelle's on it. So that's the secret we've been holding on to. So as if that wasn't enough this weekend, then Friday, I'm flying out to Tucson, Arizona for the first time ever at the Rialto Theater. So if you're in Tucson, anywhere in Arizona area, just come on out. We still got tickets available. We're about to open up the third level balcony. So, because I guess there's 3 levels to that theater. So the floor is about gone, and then the second tier balcony is almost gone. So they're about to open up the third level. So that's going to be Friday at the Rialto Theater. Saturday, I go to Biloxi, Mississippi with Martin Lawrence. We're at the, where are we at? Some big old venue. We are, let me go to Ticketmaster. We're at the Coliseum, the Biloxi Coliseum. I mean, how many Coliseums are in Biloxi? We are at, Mississippi Coast Coliseum. B. Simone, myself, and Martin Lawrence. And then Sunday, I'm going to drive up to Jackson, Mississippi. So go do Johnny T's out there, the Renaissance Room. So if you're in Jackson, come on out. And then next weekend, that's my first. So here's the crazy part. I got a lot of first. My first time ever at the Rialto Theater in Tucson, Arizona. It's going to be my first time at Johnny T's in Jackson, Mississippi. And then the next weekend, August 16th to the 18th, I'm at Nate Jackson, who's on the show with me in Shreveport. Super Funny Comedy Club in Tacoma, Washington. I've been to Tacoma, but I've never been to Nate Jackson's club. So I heard it's beautiful. I can't wait for him. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, Portland, come on down. Is it down or up? I think it's up from Portland. So if you're Portland, come on up to Tacoma. And then August 23rd to the 25th, I'm in Hartford, Connecticut at the Funny Bone. And then August 30th through September 1st, I'm in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at Helium. August 6th and 7th, I'm in Honolulu, Hawaii at the Blue Note. And I just picked up August 9th, I'm in Kona, Hawaii. And we're going to put that on the website. I should have that venue, but I'm sorry, I do not. I'm in Kona, first time on Kona performing, September 9th. So I'm island hopping. I feel like Joe Coy. The way I'm just all over Hawaii. And then September 13th to the 15th, I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Comedy Zone. And then September 20th through the 22nd, I'm in Richmond, Virginia at the Funny Bone. Then I'm going to stay in Virginia September 27th to the 29th at Virginia Beach. And then I'm almost home. I'm in Dayton, Ohio, October 4th through the 6th. That's far enough. I don't need to go any farther. That's enough. Yeah, I just did 2 months of scheduling. You guys aren't going to remember any of that. But anyways, just last weekend was just so busy, man. So what I did was I was with Martin Lawrence in Pittsburgh and Cleveland. I was in Pittsburgh with Martin on Friday, and then I was in Cleveland with Martin on Saturday. And so what I did, I flew in a day early into Pittsburgh last Thursday, and I surprised everybody. You know, my buddy, the mailman. I'm not going to say I took him under my wing, but just young comic out there trying to do it. We know we do a lot of sketches together. Cincinnati guy. I've had him on the podcast. But anyways, he was in Pittsburgh at the Funny Bone. So I told him, I said, man, I'm going to come in unannounced, kind of like Chapelle is tonight, on a lesser scale. But I said, don't tell nobody, but I'm going to host on Thursday night for you. So, and it was I ain't gonna lie, man. It was a good feeling when they announced me. They go, special guest host, Gary Owen. And I walked out, and in the green room, we can see the front row of the audience because they'll have the camera on the stage. So just so you know, comics, we can kind of see the front row as we're watching. And the one guy just went, "Oh, shit." And I saw over the green right before I walked out. And I ain't gonna lie, it made me feel good. And then, so we had a great show. T Robe was there, my guy. So me, him, and Mailman just had a great show. And then we did something cool at the end. The three of us sat there on the stage, and we took questions from the audience, and we explained how our relationships have built over the years. And it's actually a cool moment. The club filmed it. I'm going to post it next week on my all my social media pages. But it was cool for a little back and forth we had with the audience. And so I surprised them, and then we kicked off Martin's tour in Pittsburgh. And here's what's funny. If anybody was at the show in Pittsburgh last Friday, I was right out the box. It was Benji Brown hosted, and then I went up. And I had 20 minutes. And I was like, first 5, this guy's just yelling shit out. And I don't know if he's heckling. I don't know if he's saying he hates me. I don't know if he's saying he loves me. But it's hard to comprehend because I'm talking. And a lot of times I try to ignore it on them big arena shows because when you got 15, 20,000 people, I mean, and I'm like, man, he kept going. So finally I just went in on him. And then, man, I haven't gone in on somebody in a while. And sometimes it feels good as a comedian. And then I went in, and then the crowd was loving it. And then about 10 minutes later, when I got about 5 minutes left of my act, this lady, they're arguing with this other lady about seats. And I'm going, why is it my 20 minutes had all the chaos? Not Adele Givens' 20, not Martin's hour, not Benji's 15 up top and 5 minutes in between. My 20 is when all the shit happened. The guy's yelling out, then the girl was arguing over her seat. But it low-key helped the show because I kind of went in a little bit. So for anybody about the show in Pittsburgh, you know what I'm talking about at PPG Arena. Oh, and I'll be back in Pittsburgh in December. People were asking when I'm coming back. I'm coming back December 13th through the 15th to the Improv there. So that's when I'll be back in Pittsburgh. But that show was fire. And then me and T Robe, we get up early Saturday morning. This is one of them road dog weekends as a stand-up. We get up early Saturday, and we start rolling down to Canton. We get to Canton, and then I went and saw Andre do his speech at the Hall of Fame. He got inducted, got the bust and the gold jacket, and that was cool. We got every bit of weather though. Because I got there right after Dwight Freeney talked, and we got rain, sunshine, hot, drizzle, cloudy, a breeze. I mean, it's 3 hours long, but we got every bit of weather. And right when Andre got up to talk, it got so hot. It was like the clouds split, the sun came out. We're just drenched in sweat. And you see Andre's speech, he's kind of sweating a little bit too. But that was amazing to hear those guys' stories. And that's the beauty of sports. That's the beauty of football because you have Patrick Willis, Julius Peppers, Dwight Freeney, Devin Hester, Randy Gradishire, and Andre. And I like the family stories. The speeches are great. Once they get into religion, I'm like, all right, we all know. That's fine. I want to hear some war stories. Things like that. And the biggest things I take away from these Hall of Fame speeches is talent comes in all shapes and sizes and all upbringings. And that's the beauty of sports because if you listen to Andre talk, Miami, lived with his grandma, mom made the choice to send him to a different school district so he could pursue his football career. Uncle helped raise them. Uncle passed away a couple years ago, man. God dang, I miss Unc. I had my history with Andre Johnson and his family. I think I met Andre like his rookie year or second year at the mall with a young lady named Lisa Rogers. Shouts out to Lisa. And we met, and then he had a charity event in 2006, and he asked me to perform. And This show is legendary. Like, I got some legendary shows that were never recorded. We have no video footage of it. Like, anybody used to go to USC back in the Reggie Bush, Matt Liner days, Pete Carroll days. I used to roast USC every year. And there was no cameras and no videos, and those things were legendary. And anybody knows of USC teams, you know, we ain't got to talk about it, you know. And then Andre hired me in 2006, and I'll never forget that show because, and Andre will tell you, Clinton Portis will tell you, Santana Moss will tell you, Edgerrin James will tell you, any of those Miami University, those University of Miami dudes, the Hurricanes back then, I'll never forget. The show was Friday. Thursday night, there used to be a spot in Houston called the M Bar. It was Milkshake. To this day, ain't no club ever messed with the M Bar on Thursdays in Houston in my life. We go there, and we got like 50 of us. And we walk into this bar, and they got a VIP area for us. And I'm sitting there, and I'll never forget, I waved to somebody in the club, and my hand went over this girl's shoulder. And when I waved, the girl looked back at me and like almost like, how dare you? And I was like, did she do that? And then somebody else didn't. I waved again. The girl smacked my wrist. She was like, I was like, and then like gave me like some lip. And I went, okay. I'm not going to make a scene. This isn't my deal. I'm going to be real quiet. I did some white guy post office shit. So Kamikaze is this photographer in Houston. If you ever come to Houston, you ever go to In the Mix, he takes all the pictures. Back then, he was at 5 clubs a night taking pictures. I found him. The next day, we're at the Breakfast Club eating breakfast. I found Kamikaze. I said, you got pictures from last night? He said, yeah. I said, let me see them. He starts going through his camera, and I see the girl that smacked my arm. I said, who's that? And he told me her name. Her name was Tasha. I don't know her last name, so it ain't like I'm calling nobody out. But I said, okay, what's she about? And then everyone started telling me. Everybody knew her in the city back then. Everybody knew her in Houston back then. And I said, all right, I'm going to get her tonight. When I tell you, the show was at this theater, right? I stood behind a bush in the theater, one of them fake bushes, and I was looking, and everybody walked in. I wasn't that famous back then, so nobody was like, oh, shit, Gary Owen. I was more like, oh, that's the comedian from Comic View back then. When I tell you I saw her walk in, I got her seat number, I got her row number, and I just waited. And I saw, man, when they called me on stage, I did about 5 minutes of material, and then I said, hey, let me tell you what happened last night. And I'm telling the whole crowd, the girl smacked my hand. I said, and she's here. I said, she's in row 6, seat 18. And when I tell you, I said, I know everything about you. You a bopper. A bopper is somebody just bangs a bunch of ball players, just bops around, right? And then I don't remember everything I said. I said a lot, but the one thing I remember is I said, I'm gonna make it PG. You be sleeping with ball players and getting tickets to preseason games. I go, you get tickets to games that don't count, just like your pussy. It's like your pussy don't count. You got preseason pussy. When I tell you they start, and I'm giving you the cliff notes. I'm going in. And then she tried to leave the theater. They locked her in. I'll never forget, Clinton Portis was one of them and a couple other guys from the U. They were holding the doors. So she was trying to push out. They were on the other side. I was like, nah, you're going to take this. They just wouldn't let her out. She was trying to get out. And the crowd is in hysterics. And this is before, like, iPhones. Man, if this shit would have happened now, this shit would have went everywhere. But, yeah. And then everybody was laughing. They go, we've never seen her since the show. They said after that show, this chick, like, disappeared from the face of the earth. So that's where me and Dre and all those Miami guys got cool. And then it's just our relationship built. Like, when Dre played for the Texans, every year, me and my ex-wife and my kids, we'd always go to one away game. And we'd pick a game, and we'd go and hang out with Dre's mom and Unc and all his family members. And it was something we always look forward to. You know, we spent Thanksgiving with them. One year the Texans played the Lions on Thanksgiving. We drove up and went to the game, and then I'll never forget we had Thanksgiving dinner at the hotel. And just a lot of good memories from then. So I always said, like, when Dre goes in, I wasn't going to miss it. And got the Dre Hall of Fame hat and this. So this is one of the few times you're going to see me wear Houston Texans shit. So enjoy it. I'm still a Bengals fan, but I got friends on other teams. So, and then afterwards, it was funny because I go see Andre speak. I see his speech. He's got a little reception afterwards. I mingle there for about 30 minutes. And then me and my guy T Robe, we had to drive up to Cleveland about an hour away to do the show with Martin. And I went up, did my 20, 25 minutes, and said goodnight. We got in the car and drove back down to Canton. And that's when we hit the party. The party was epic. Andre had Scarface perform. And there were so many people. It was cool to see J.J. Watt came in for Andre. It's funny, like, when these Hall of Fame football players, because I'm such a sports fan, when they recognize me and I'm like, what? Like, Andre Reed from the Bills, he was like, yo, Gary, I'm a huge fan. I go, really? And then the one that got me was Emmitt Smith. It was like towards the end of the party, and I'm half lit. And Emmitt Smith just points and goes, oh, shit, funny man G. And I looked around because I didn't want to take somebody else's wave. So I was like, me? And they go, yeah. And they just start talking, chopping it up. I was like, it's still like surreal because I expect comedians and things like that to know me. But when these athletes that I grew up watching know me, you still become that little kid. I don't care how old you are. Someone like Emmitt Smith or like any of these or John Elway, any of these guys recognize him. I'm like, no way, because you grow up watching him on TV. So that was when Emmitt Smith recognized me, I was like, for real, Emmitt Smith. So it was just cool. Those Miami guys, man, they're so cool, man. And I do think that was the greatest college football team ever. The team that beat Nebraska, was it the 2001 team? That team, man, there's so many good NFL and majority of mugs are cool. Everybody I met off that 2001 team been cool, man. So shouts out to the U. Shouts out to Andre Johnson. What a night. What an epic night, man. We had so much fun. And, yeah, the family stories, man, like Patrick Willis, like I didn't know his backstory like that. I had to look it up afterwards because he went off script. He goes, I don't want to go off script, but I'm going. He said, and we all know that we all start from a woman's womb. And he goes, and dad's got to help. He goes, but we all come from a woman. And I guess his mom really didn't have nothing to do with him growing up, him and his sister. And he was raised by his grandmother in like Mississippi and stuff. But it was his moment to either almost like bury the hatchet, forgive her, and everything else. And he said he loved her and everything. And it was like, now that I know the backstory, I had heard about it, but I didn't know in depth everything that it went through. So if you get a chance, look up Patrick Willis, San Francisco 49ers, and just look up his backstory. It's crazy in the fact that he just took that moment in the Hall of Fame in his speech to acknowledge his mother and thank her just for bringing him into the world. I was like, that was cool. It was a cool moment. It just to be selfish, it makes me reflect on my own life. Like, I don't talk to my mom. But I think the weird thing about forgiveness is like I don't talk to my mom and I don't talk to my dad. But I've already forgiven them for everything they've done. I'm not going to forget, but I've forgiven them. And the problem is if I ever went to them and said, I forgive you, they'd probably say, for what? And that's the tough part. They always say, like, you got to forgive people, man. You got to let it go or it's just going to hold you down. I was like, I agree with that somewhat. But at the same time, it's like the problem is when you say I forgive you, you got some people that don't think they did anything wrong. And you're just going, so I bet you to my mom, my stepdad, and my biological dad, like, I forgive everybody for everything that happened. It's water under the bridge to me, but I don't forget. And if you ask the three of them, they will tell you, what? Forgive us for what? We were amazing, So, yeah, it was it was cool, those NFL Hall of Fame stories. I'm more like looking at the backstory, and then you can read between the lines a little bit. Like obviously most people thank their mom and dad, but then you could tell like the Patrick Willis thing, and then Julius Peppers brought up. He thanked his mom, and then he said, she didn't say I loved you a lot, but she showed it. And then he said, me and my dad, we didn't have the close relationship, but now we're cool, and I love him. So, yeah, you like, oh, some of these guys went through some shit. All this shit is not it's not all like the greatness you see on the fields on Sunday. A lot of guys went through a lot to get to the Hall of Fame, just to get to the NFL period. So I love those backstories. I love those. I love all the things that come with the Hall of Fame. The only thing I would do different, man, it's just so hot, and it's Ohio, and it's August, and you're outside, and everybody's backs were sweating. Like, I don't know if it's possible to move it inside. If we could, but man, can we have more fans or more tents? Because you be in there baking, bro. I'm glad they got the speeches down to 15 minutes. It used to be like 45. That Ray Lewis speech is still the longest speech I think that's the longest one I ever heard. I was like, oh, Ray's still going. But it was cool. It was really cool. And then just to be with Martin Lawrence, and then it goes Dre in the Hall of Fame like that. It was just an epic weekend. And then we wake up Sunday. Me and T Robe got to drive to Fort Wayne, Indiana. Shouts out to everyone in Fort Wayne that came out to the Embassy Theater. That was a great show, just to put a button on the weekend. But here's where my week went left. Monday I get up, and my flight's at 7:30 out of Fort Wayne. And I get to the airport, and we left. Me and T Robe left my hotel at 6. He dropped me off. He drove back to Pittsburgh. And I'm sitting there, and they said, we're not going to board till like 9. I was like, oh, my God. I could have slept in. I don't mind getting delayed. I get it. I told you a couple months ago about the Birmingham story. But I was just like, man, it's the worst when you get up super early, because I got up at 5:30, and I could have just slept in. And then it got delayed to 10:30. And we didn't leave, so I guess something was going on in Chicago. Get to Chicago O'Hare. I've already missed my connections, so I'm delayed out of there. They rerouted me completely because once Chicago shuts down, people start getting bumped and moving around. I got bumped completely. They flew me. My flight, they was supposed to start at 7:30, and I was supposed to land in Houston at 11. So I was Fort Wayne to Chicago, Chicago to Houston. Long story short, they rerouted me. I went from Fort Wayne to Chicago, Chicago to St. Louis to Houston. I didn't land in Houston until 11 p.m. I was supposed to land at 11 a.m. So my flight was supposed to start at 7:30 and end at 11. My flight started at 7:30, which, by the way, is 6:30 in Houston. So really, I'm an hour behind. So I could have flown to Greece or Australia, as much as I was just sitting around airports Monday morning and Monday night, Monday afternoon. I was like, I don't think that's the first time all 3 of my flights got delayed. I got delayed out of Fort Wayne. I got delayed out of St. Louis. I got delayed out of Chicago, and I got delayed out of St. Louis. I was like, I ain't never been so delayed in my life. That was the longest day of flying. I was like, oh, my God. It was just, I don't know. All I did was watched House of Dragons, which, by the way, that season finale was terrible. It just ended. There was no climax or nothing, just all building up to a war. Watched Big Brother. That's a guilty show I love. And then all I did was walk. I walked the airport to get all my steps in, because I understand at my age I'm supposed to get between 8,000 and 10,000 steps. I got them yesterday at the airports. So I was like, I'll just use this to get all my steps in. So the funniest thing happened, though, out of that whole day was when I was at the St. Louis airport. I went to Starbucks, and it was like 2-3 baristas, and they were all black girls. And there was a white lady behind me in line. And I was on the phone as I was ordering, and then one of the black girls was like, are you Gary Owen? Are you Gary Owen? And I was like, yeah. And then she goes, you mind if we get a picture? And I got my earbuds in. I'm talking to my cousin on the phone. And they think, yeah. So I literally told my cousin, I go, hold on, man. All these black baristas want a picture real quick. When I said all these black baristas want a picture, this white lady, I think she shit her pants. It was that, what did I say a couple months ago? It was that pee come out of the tip moment. You know, as a guy, when you're scared, a little pee comes out the tip. when you're startled, a little pee came out the puss with this lady because she looked, she went, oh. And then all the black girls are going, you crazy, Gary, get a picture. It was funny. She looked so relieved. I ain't never seen a white lady damn near shit herself and then go, oh. And then it was funny because, I'm on the phone with my cousin, and I was like, hold on, these black baristas want a picture real quick. I said, these black baristas are bothering me, man. They want a picture real quick. So when I said these black baristas are bothering me, they want a picture real quick, that's when the white lady went, oh. And then when the black girls all started laughing, ah. And then she was like, literally, this is her face, ah. Oh. And then she's trying to figure it out. And so now I'm taking pictures with them. We're laughing, cutting up. And then now she goes, I got to ask, what do you do? And as I said, I'm a comedian. Then she asked my name, and I'm going to have to look you up. And so probably got a new fan out of it. But it goes back to the whole, almost like the cancel culture, can't say anything out of place. Like, now, granted, if these black girls didn't know me, I wouldn't say anything like that. But the funniest out of all of it was the white lady that almost shit herself. And then the relief. She was so relieved. I think she thought it was about to go down in St. Louis. Her face, I can't replicate it. It was just, oh. I mean, it was just like, oh, race riot. Oh, we're good. That shit was so funny to me, man. So funny. So I also spent most of at the airport watching the Olympics. God, man, that Simone Biles, the female gymnast, and then I used to always root for the USA, but I tell you what, man, the more I watch the Olympics, the more some of these third world countries be in it. How you not root for them? You know they ain't going home to nothing. And then the USA, everybody's fine. The Olympics over. They got houses, endorsements, Nike, Adidas. They're good. They're good. Some of these third world countries I'd be looking at, I'd be like, I wouldn't be mad if they won because they're not going home to a lot. So it's like, I remember like, I think I read somewhere like in Cuba when they used to dominate boxing, if they want a gold medal, they got a goat. That's all they got after the Olympics. I was like, oh, how you not root for those guys? It's not their fault they're in a communist country. It's not their fault they're like that. But the more I watch it. And then when you watch the medal count, Summer Olympics, you expect the USA to dominate. I'm always shocked when China's second. I'm always like, China's continually usually second in the Summer Olympics. I'm like, where are they getting their medals? Because I don't see, I guess, swimming. I just don't. They're definitely not getting in track and field, not the short distance. But if you go online, like, let me see. They usually got the medal count. So as I'm recording, USA has 89. USA has 86. China has 59. What? And then it's not even close. Australia's third with 35. France got 40. Wait a minute. France got 48. Oh, okay, they're doing it golds. So golds, USA's got 24. China's got 22. They're right on our ass with the gold overall. But then, okay, so France is actually third with 48 medals, and Great Britain's 46. Then Korea, and then Japan. But I'm like, what is China winning in? Has to be mostly swimming. Olympics. Let me search. China medals. Let me get a complete list of medal winners from Hong Kong and China. So, okay. So they're winning things like fencing. China's killing in fencing. Swimming, fencing, swimming. So there you go. These sports that nobody's watching. Nobody's watching fencing. Yeah. Well, I watch swimming. I only watch swimming every 4 years. You can get me to watch swimming if the Olympics ain't on. Some sports you don't watch unless it's the Olympics. You can't tell me anybody's watching fencing or swimming unless it's the Olympics. Yeah. So that's what they're winning. Okay. The sports that nobody's watching is what they're winning at. Let me see. Why don't they make this Olympics.com website is not the easiest to navigate. I understand we got a medal table, but I want to know. Okay, here we go. Archery. Okay. So China's got 1 in archery, 9 in artistic gymnastics. Anybody watching that? Badminton, 5 medals in badminton. They got 2 golds and 3 silver. Anybody watching that? 1 in boxing, cycling, BMX freestyle. They got 1 gold. Diving. Diving is another thing. You're only watching it during Olympics. You ain't watching diving in 2027 Big East Championships. Ain't nobody watching that. Judo. You figure they would have won in judo. 1. Shooting. 10 medals in shooting. China. Swimming. 12. Table tennis. 4. Tennis 2. Trampoline gymnastics 2. Wrestling 2. I'm like, so majority of their medals, 9 artistic gymnastics, 10 shooting, 12 swimming. Ain't a sprinter in the bunch. They running, they in the pool, baby. They in the pool and they shoot. Shooting is shocking to me. Air rifle. 3 rifle positions. They just making up sports now. Ain't nobody watching that. Ain't nobody watching that. The biggest thing I know in the Olympics was the dude that caught his penis on the pole vault. I don't know if you saw that one. I think the dude was from France. He's going. He's over. He does the arch, and his penis catches the dang pole. And the pole fell off. That was the best part of the Olympics. Hold on. Look, if you Google penis pole vault, I bet you it pops up. Watch this. I'm Googling penis. Sorry I said that with a little femininity. I just realized how I said that. Penis. Can't say penis. Penis pole vault. First thing that pops up. The only thing that pops up. Olympic pole vaulter with big penis gets big offer from adult site. That guy's probably going to make more money because his penis knocked the pole off than he would have if he would have won a gold medal. Olympic pole vaulter offered $250,000. Porn deal after going viral at the Olympic Games. He's from France. People say pole vaulter's tattoo now makes sense after penis. And what's his tattoo say? Many athletes have had their Olympic dreams dashed at the games over the years. It's pretty safe to say we've seen their ambitions. Few have seen their ambitions crushed by their own penis. That was, however, until French pole vaulter Anthony Amarati was denied the chance to win a medal after failing to clear 5.7 meters when his manhood knocked off the bar and ended his chances of success. Since then, the 21-year-old has become one of the most talked about athletes at the entire games and even offered a lucrative deal in the adult industry. However, there's one detail which people seem to miss at that time but have discovered in the days since. The detail is that the large snake tattooed on his right arm, which men are claiming to be fitting given the context of his Olympic exit. People reacted to the tattoo online with one writing, "Never forget, this is the moment when the tattoo made sense." Another saying Anthony Amarati will never have to explain his forearm tattoo again. Message received and understood. Meanwhile, the vice president of a porn site, Cam Soda, Darren Parker, has reportedly sent a proposal to the 21-year-old offering him a 6-figure sum to show off his talent. According to TMZ Sports, which claims to have received a copy of the letter, Parker told Amarati, "If it was up to me, I'd award you for what everyone else saw, your talent below the belt. As a lover of crotch-centric activities, I'd love to offer you up to $250,000 in exchange for a 60-minute webcam show in which you show off your goods, minus a crossbar, of course." After his disappointing Olympic exit, Amarati told the French Athletics Federation, "It's a big disappointment. I'm a bit gutted because I didn't miss anything on a third attempt at 5.7 meters. What I did miss a bit was jumping into training to fine-tune the settings." He added, "It's the first time I've started competition without any stress. As I was told, as I was a total outsider, I only had one goal, to play with the public. I was almost there." Damn. His penis cost him a gold. Yeah, that was, I think everybody saw it. But, I don't know, $250,000 minus taxes and IRS. I'm like, I need $250 take home. Then you got to negotiate, baby. You got to do it now while it's hot. But we'll be the first athlete China, remember the wrestler China? She did porn. A lot of athletes have done porn. But he's 21. If he has any aspirations to come back to the Olympics, I don't know if he'd be eligible. Are you allowed to? Because he's only 21. He can come back at 25. He's probably in – that's when you're really in physical condition. So, sorry, that was wrong. The way I just stuck my fist right there with the arm. You're probably really stronger and more stout and sturdy at 25 than 21, and you know what you're doing. Is he allowed to? Does porn, like, keep you from being in the Olympics? Because you didn't get paid to be an athlete. You got paid to do something else. I wonder. So what would you call that? Yeah, we'll see. But that was the most talked about thing at the Olympics. And then Simone Biles brought up something good too. Simone Biles said, could you please stop asking us what's next? When we win a gold medal and then we're just basking in the glow of everything, and then you go, well, what's next for you? I was like, man, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Because that's like asking an Olympian that right after, can you just say, hey, man, congratulations on the gold medal. How you feeling? Blah, 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 whatever. Not what's next. They don't know what's next. They worked their whole life for this. They don't even know what's next. It's like I hate it when comedians, when we get the same question, when we do radio interviews and stuff. So what can we expect from a Gary Owen show? I don't know. Laugh? So any radio or TV announcer, please stop asking that question. All comedians hate that question. So what can we expect from a Chris Rock show? What can we expect from a Dave Chapelle show? None of us like that. Same with the Olympians. So what's next? The Olympics are every 4 years. They've been training their whole life for this moment. They got it. They get the gold, they get the silver, get the bronze. Just let them live in that moment and don't ask no questions about what's in the future. We all hate that. Everybody in here hates that question. And then I read online, Simone Biles and Child. I'm sorry. I should have these names together. Simone Biles and Child, the other girl. Simone Childs Biles. Okay, so you saw the picture where Simone Biles and Jordan Childs bow down to Rebecca Andre, the Brazilian that won the gold. And I thought it was cool. It was a cool gesture to see both of them give her respect, especially after I found out that this Rebecca Andrade, she had 3 ACL surgeries, which is insane to me that she's still in the Olympics. But they gave her a little bow, respect, and then Simone Biles said, we just thought it was the right thing to do. She's been always said nice things about us. You got to realize these Olympians, they're around the same group of people constantly coming up. When you're the best of the best, you're always going against the best. So it isn't like they just met at the Olympics. These girls are friends for a long time, or enemies, but clearly they were friends, and they gave her respect. And Simone Biles said it was very cool that we had an all-black medal podium. I don't think I've ever seen that in gymnastics. Of course, one white lady on one of the comments was like, can you imagine the backlash if it was 3 white girls and a girl said it was cool to have an all-white girls on the podium? I was like, oh, there's always one. There's always one. Just can't say, it was cool. That was cool that a sport that isn't, up until the last 10, 15 years, you didn't see a lot of black girls or black guys in gymnastics. And now you're starting to see more. And it's just a sport that's typically dominated by white people and Asians, honestly. And there's always that one. Always that one. Just gotta look for something to start talking shit. So I wish that the lady that made that comment, please just go away. Just go away. It's no different than 3 Irish people win or anything. But yeah, you're just looking at a sport that typically black people couldn't do for a long time because honestly, you got to have some money to do gymnastics. It's not something you can just pick up a basketball. You need some money to do it. And so it's not like other sports. So now you got a lot more black people are involved, and it's going to, with Simone and Jordan, it's going to open doors for more black girls and black guys to to be in the Olympics and do gymnastics. But there's always that one. Always that one. You know, those certain sports like Tiger Woods, he got all that press because he was the first black guy to dominate like that. And again, it was a sport that's typically a country club. You got to come from money sport. And that's what gymnastics is, same thing. And so now things are changing. So it's cool. Just can't say, yeah, that was cool. You know, so there's always that one Karen in the audience. So anyways, yeah. So it was a good weekend, man. Shouts out to Martin. We're in Biloxi. I'll be with Martin Lawrence this Saturday in Biloxi. Sunday, I'm in Jackson, Mississippi at Johnny T's. Come out if you're in Jackson. We got 2 shows. We got 7 and 9:30. I believe the 7 is sold out. 9:30, still tickets left for that one. And then, like I said, right now, Dave Chappelle's on stage. And you guys didn't even know it, but now you do. And then Friday, tomorrow, I'm in Tucson, Arizona. For the first time ever. There's not many cities I can say the first time ever at the Rialto Theater. So we'll see y'all next week. Congratulations, Andre, Hall of Fame. What a great weekend. And I'll see y'all next week. This is Gary on the Get Some Podcast.